everybody, welcome to today's video. My name is Montana Buck, and in today's video I went ahead and recorded how I created this fall vampy inspired makeup look. Now I do have on my olive cardigan. I dyed my hair last night a little bit darker, and I'm really loving how all of these colors are coming together for the fall season. And so I thought, you know, it's October, or just over a week into October, so now is the perfect time for me to be getting on a move on with my fall makeup tutorials. So we're gonna kick off October with this one here. If you want to know how it was done, then just stay tuned. To get started, the first thing that I want to do is apply foundation onto the skin. You guys know the drill. We're going in with my most loved L'Oreal TrueMatch Foundation. Sorry, I know my hands look really orange right now. It's because last night I self-tanned, and I left the self-tanner on my hands for way too long, and as you can see, it really stuck onto those dry spots in my hands. So if you could just try to ignore that like I do, great. I'm going to begin dotting this all over the skin. As you guys can see, I did already go ahead and draw on my eyebrows. I used the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Chocolate. This is my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush. I love using this brush to blend out my foundation. So just taking this down the neck first. I like to get this step out of the way so we can just move on to the face. I love this foundation because it's so accessible. I can pretty much find it at any drugstore or, you know, a store like Walmart, Target, those places. It's like that perfect middle ground coverage that I just love for everyday wear. Just blend this up into the forehead as well. So now that we have this really gorgeous full base of foundation, we're going to move on to concealer. Now I'm going to be going with two different concealers today. Here I have the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is the shade Medium 20. And then I have my oh so loved Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Beige. First I want to go on with the ColourPop concealer, and I'm just going to be targeting this on the very inner corner of both of the eyes. This is where the shadow under my eye and the dark circle is the darkest. So I'm going to take this here, and picking up the Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Beige, I'm going to carry the rest of this out. Same thing on the other side. I also want to take this on the nose and a little swipe across the chin. Picking up my sponge and the MAC Cosmetics Fix Plus, I'm just spritzing the sponge with the Fix Plus. Start from the bottom of the face and work my way up. Go in on that nose. Start blending in the concealer underneath the eye. I like to start from the bottom and then slowly work my way up, so that I have a nice distribution of coverage. It also makes sure that the fullest coverage is focused on the darkest and deepest parts of the eye. So we're really going to get that coverage that we want. Now that we have our concealer laid down under the eyes, we have the dark circles covered up just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and set the concealer with a powder. The powder that I've been using lately that I have absolutely fallen in love with is this one here by Too Faced. This is their Born This Way Ethereal setting powder. I have the cap here on my dresser because it's holding the product in the cap. This is the Morphe M438. It is a tapered brush, so it's really perfect for getting in those corners of the eye and hard to reach areas of the face. And I'm going to begin pressing and just kind of fluffing that powder underneath the eye to set the concealer that we just laid down. I also want to set the nose, as this is an area of the face that I tend to get oily in throughout the day. Paying special attention to the sides and then just right underneath, as well as between the brows. I do make a lot of expression throughout the day, and a lot of that folding and creasing tends to happen right between the eyebrows. So setting this area is going to help to ensure that our foundation and our concealer doesn't start to build up in those fine lines. I'm also dragging this across the chin I'm going to take a different brush here. This is a much more fluffier brush. I believe it's intended for blush or bronzer, but I'm going to use it to swirl a bunch of translucent powder all over the cheeks. Doing this step first before applying the bronzer is going to help the bronzer to really blend a lot more seamlessly onto the skin. I'm so excited to put bronzer on my skin. The whole time I've been filming so far, I keep looking at the difference between the color of my arm and the color of my face and my chest, and I'm like, no! Okay, so now that we've got everything else laid down, we're going to move on to bronzer. The bronzer that I'm using today is by Benefit. This is their Hoola Caramel bronzer, or caramel, however you want to say it. This is or has quickly become my favorite bronzer. I used to be hooked on the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil. Still love that bronzer. Still smells so amazing, and every time I use it, I'm just like, so good. But this one is really good too, you guys. I will note though that the Hoola Caramel or Caramel bronzer is much more of a golden base. This is so good for when I have a fresh tan. This is the brush that I'm going to be applying it with today. This is a brush by the brand Eco Tools. I love their face brushes. These are so soft and so good. Not only do I want to contour with this, but I want to shade correct as well, because I am trying to make myself look much more tan so that I match my arms. So I think I'm going to start on the chest. Don't forget your double chin. Okay, so now my face and my chest is much more matched to the color of my body. I'm much more happier now that I have the bronzer on the skin. All right. Next, I'm going to pick up a small fluffy brush. This is what she looks like. I'm just going to dust a little bit of that Hoola Caramel onto the nose and then up into the brow area. I'm taking this underneath the nose as well. Same thing on the other side, up into that brow. I really love how it takes the face and it really just angles it and structures it in such a way that the symmetry, oh, I just can't skip this step. I love bringing my nose bronzer up into the eyes. Now when it comes to baking, my favorite powder that I've been using recently is this one here by Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Ethereal Loose Translucent Setting Powder. Picking up my contoured Morphe sponge, I'm going to take whatever powder is dipped into the cap and I'm going to begin baking the jaw. I like to take it right below the bronzer, starting from the top of the ear area and then stopping like this. Stopping about there. Just like this. So you can still see where the jaw extends forward from the powder. Whatever else left over that I have on the sponge, I like to take this down the sides of the nose. This is also going to help slim some of that bronzer down. Like so. Now we're going to let this sit for a minute. And while this is sitting, we're going to highlight the skin. The highlighter that I've been using lately is by a brand called Becca Cosmetics, and it is their Champagne Pop highlighter. I've done already is just spritzed my sponge with a little Fix Plus, and I've dipped my sponge into the highlight. So I'm going to target the highlight on the high points of the cheekbone and just press that into the skin. I also want to take it on the tip of the nose. Ooh, hey, tip of the nose. And then up into the higher points of the bridge, and then even between the eyebrows a bit as well. Like so. And then you can just take the sponge and kind of disperse any excess highlighter. I also really like to take this above the eyebrow just so that we have a nice balance between the cheekbone and the forehead. And just a dab on the Cupid's bow. Some people say that this makes their top lip look sweaty. Personally, I disagree. I think it looks real cute. So I've had this powder sitting on my skin for about 4 to 5 minutes now. So what we're going to do next is pick up this fluffy brush and I'm going to begin dusting away the bakage that we have going on here. I think we're gonna move on to eyeshadow now. Oh my goodness, are we ready for eyeshadow? Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit for the eyeshadow portion of the look. I think about here should be good. Okay guys, so the eyeshadow palette that we're going to be using to achieve today's fall inspired makeup look is this one here by Morphe. I know mine's very, very dirty. This is the Morphe 350M eyeshadow palette. As you can see, we have a lot of gorgeous warm tone shades over here. We've got a lot of delicious browns and some really beautiful neutrals. So I thought this palette right here would be perfect for the look that we're going for today for fall. The very first color that I want to go in with in the palette is going to be this one right here, and I'm picking that up on a fluffy brush. I'm just going to dab the color into the bristles, and I want to begin running this into the crease of the eye. So this is going to be our transition shade. I'm just slowly building up this color bit by bit. This is the Sigma E40 blending brush. I'm going to dip into this burnt orange shade down here. I'm going to kind of do something similar to what we have just done, which is keeping this color right in the transition area, but I'm just kind of taking this darker shade on top of the first initial transition, ombre it into a beautiful blown out smoky warm tone orange. Next, using that same Sigma E40 brush, I'm going to dip back into the eyeshadow palette, and we're going to be choosing this color right next to the one that we had before. This one's a little bit more of a red tone, and I'm going to continue to keep building these colors up until I get the dimension and the pigment that I'm looking for. Wow, okay. I'm going to pick up the shade here. It's like a, kind of a little bit like a hot cocoa shade. And then I'm just going to kind of go back and forth between that Sigma E40 and the Sigma E25 and use this brush to just blend out any harsh edges that we might have. Next, picking up that same Sigma E25 brush, I'm dipping back into the hot chocolate shade here. I'm going to begin running this chocolate brown shade underneath the lower lash line, starting at the outer corner and then slowly making our way to the inside of the eye. And then patting the lower eyeshadow along into the eyeshadow that's on the lid, just so that it rings all together seamlessly. Next, I'm picking up another brush here by Sigma again. This is their E45 small tapered blending brush. I love this brush for highlighting right underneath the eyebrow and on the inner corner of the eye. Because it is a tapered brush, it reaches into those areas so precisely. It is amazing. Back into the Morphe 350 palette, I'm going to swirl whatever I have left of this shade right underneath the arch of the eyebrow, and then going back in with that fluffy brush that we used to apply our transition shades. I'm going to give it a nice fluff so that the red and orange eyeshadows melt nicely with the brow bone highlight. For eyeliner, I'm just picking up this one here by NYX Cosmetics. This is their Slide On eyeliner in the shade Jet Black. My eyes can tend to get a little watery around this step because I am working so close to the eyeball. But now that we have our first liner applied, I want to go in with another eyeliner now, and we're going to create a wing effect. The mascara that we're going to be going in with for today's look is this one here by NARS. This is their new Climax Mascara. Don't quote me, but it is a fairly new product on the market. I purchased the mini version, which I have right here. And I loved it so much that I went out and I got the full-size version. If you are a false lash wearer, I find that this mascara, as the formula begins to dry down on the lashes, once you go in to stick your lash band on and stick them together with your natural lashes, the formula of this mascara really helps that false lash band to stick nice and snug and tight, and it's just beautiful. It goes really well together. So picking up my NARS Climax Mascara, I'm going to give my lashes one coat, top and bottom. Okay, cool. So now that we have our mascara applied on our top and bottom lashes, let's move on to falsies. I have my all-time favorite eyelashes here by a brand called Allure. These are their Luxe lashes in the style Opulent. These lashes are my perfect everyday eyelash. These lashes are so versatile for so many different styles of makeup. I have another pair of this same style here on my makeup vanity that have been reused and reworn, I'm not even kidding, probably 15 times. It's definitely time for a new pack of lashes, and I'm really excited to be using these today. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of the glue on the lash band, and we're going to let it dry up and get a little tacky. Okay, so I've waited about 5 or 6 minutes and I've applied 2 separate layers of lash glue. The lash adhesive comes included in the Allure eyelash packages, so I really love that about this brand. They give you the glue with the eyelashes. I'm going to start closer to the outer corner and then work my way to the inner corner and just be really gentle. I'm taking that liner from Seraphine Botanicals and I'm just going to trace over the lash band to cover up any glue that might be peeking out or just any gaps that may be showing. We're just going to cover them up. Just like that. Move on to lips. Here I'm picking up this lip liner from NYX Cosmetics. This is in the shade Los Angeles. This is one of my most favorite lip liners. Oh, baby kitty has something to say. What? Do you see this right now? She took the beauty blender. No! She thinks these are her toys. I'm not even kidding. I have a collection of beauty blenders on the other side of my room that have claw marks and teeth marks all the way through them. They're so unusable. So now whenever Tintin, that's her name by the way, guys. Her name is Tintin. Whenever she wants to play, I tell her, I say, "Where's your makeup?" And she brings me her sponges. She's so cute. But this one's mommy's sponge. You can't have mommy's makeup. Moving back on to our lip liner. Really beautiful color for fall. Personally, I wear it year-round, but for this look and for all intent purposes, it's perfect for our fall lip look. So let's go ahead and line the lips really quick. Okay. I want to go over it with a liquid lipstick. This is by Kylie Cosmetics in the shade Dolce K. It smells so good. It smells like cupcakes and candy. I love that. The only thing left to do for today's face is to spritz with some MAC Fix Plus. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up, give my whole face a good spritz of this. Ooh, yes. Alright guys, that completes today's finished look. Let me know down below in the comments what your guys' favorite fall holiday seasonal drink is. I know that the pumpkin spice lattes and the hot apple cider drinks are super popular, and I personally would have to agree. I am the apple cider girl. I hate to admit it, but I love my apple cider. So, oh, and the donuts. Growing up in Michigan, we have apple cider farms, or cider mills, where we will go and pick apples from the trees. They give you the option to buy candied apples that have been dipped in caramel and rolled in like chocolate. You could get like the toffee version, and I also know that they make fudge, like homemade real genuine fudge. It's like so cool. And then of course the cinnamon spice donuts and the hot apple cider up at the cider mills here this time of the year. I'm so excited to hit the cider mill sometime later this month to grab my own apple cider and donuts, and just to look at all of the leaves changing colors. I know here in Michigan, or in the surrounding states, just in the Midwest in general, especially if you go up north, the fall leaves are like nothing that I've ever experienced in my life. The colors are so rich and so phenomenal. It almost makes you tear up a little bit when you look at how beautiful God's creation really is. And you see all the colors changing. I mean, we have yellows, we have reds, we have purples, we have every type of shade of green that you could think of. And when it all comes together, it's a masterpiece. And I cannot wait to get up north this time of year to see it with my own eyes. So without further ado, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who spent the time to watch this video. If you made it all the way to the end of today's video, I love you. You're a real one. I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Really hope that you guys enjoyed today's look. Alright guys, we'll see you later. Bye.